I'm Oracan the Diviner,
And I am Trazen the Infinite.
and today we are talking about Combat Patrol Necrons. So I've been playing Combat Patrol since about spring of 2024, on average, like once a weekend. And about how many games, Trazen, do you have in at this point?
Um, More than 5, but less than 10.
More than 5, but less than 10. Okay. So I think this box, from a value prospect, is one of the absolute worst boxes out there.
Oh, okay.
It's really sad. If you were to, this box costs $168 as of January 2025. If you were to buy all of these models individually, they would only cost $206.50. So you are saving $38.50. So essentially, nothing in this box is free. It doesn't even cover the cost of a character,
Gotcha.
of a single character model. So from a value side, I think this box is horrible. But I do love playing this box in Combat Patrol.
I mean, they do look pretty cool.
They do look great. So in this box, you get a Necron Overlord, and it is not the Translocation Shroud Necron Overlord. It is the Tachyon Arrow Overlord. There are two models for the Overlord. You get a Canoptic Doomstalker. You get 3 Scarab Swarm bases, which is translates to 1 unit of Scarab Swarms. And you get 10 Warriors. And you get 3 Skorpek Destroyers. I think I'm saying that right. You would think, as much as I love this unit, that I would be able to pronounce it correctly, but I can't. So I know you have only played against this box one time.
I have.
So what do you think about the kits in this box?
The big tower guy, the turret.
The Canoptic Doomstalker.
The Canoptic Doomstalker destroyed my Squidhog boys.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
I could not even reach you before my poor Squidhog riders met their demise.
That's true.
On the table, they were pretty cool though, because that thing is really tall. I think it's the tallest model that I've seen on the table for Combat Patrol.
Yeah, I think it's a little smaller than like Magnus and some of the other, like maybe some of the big knights and some things like that, but you don't really see those in Combat Patrol.
Right.
So I think you're right. I think this might be one of the single largest models in Combat Patrol. And that alone makes this box a little impressive.
I also really like the 3 the guys that have the 3 legs with like the blades for arms.
Yeah, so those are the Skorpek Destroyers.
So the Skorpek Destroyers look really freaking cool. They look like they almost look like Batleths.
Yeah, they do look a little Klingon like with their weapon. I agree with that. And some of them have 2 2 of their weapon, and some of them have just 1, which I think is also pretty cool. What about the Warriors as a kit? What do you think about them?
They look pretty rad. They look like they are straight out of a Terminator movie, like the old school one.
Uh-huh.
And their guns are freaking rad too. I know you said earlier that it's not great on the value, but they look so cool.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the models themselves look really good, and they're easy to paint for a lot of people. Say Necrons are an easy army to paint. I wouldn't disagree with that. Um, I just think from a saving standpoint, this box isn't great. They could probably put an entire other unit in this box, and it would maybe be a slightly better value than some of the other combat patrols.
Mm.
But as it is, I think it's one of the worst values. Um, but I think like I said, I think it plays great on the tabletop. The Doomstalker is such a threat in a game of combat patrol that it has to be answered, and it has to be answered quickly, or it is just going to take over the game.
Yeah. When we were playing a 3-way game with our Space Marine friends, and I was playing the Orc Combat Patrol, and the Space Marines and the Orcs just went for the Necrons, specifically the Doomstalker.
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 Yep. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I'd say my only criticism of it is I really don't like the mixed squad of warriors. You have 5 of a short range gun, and you have 5 of a longer range gun, and so I understand in combat patrol that may have some advantages, but it also means when you're building this box out, you have kind of a strange mix of models to maybe move into like a full game of 40K. And I do think the value of this box also hurts it as a starting point in 40K.
For sure.
It's a little hard to justify. The warriors are not great on the tabletop. A lot of Necron armies don't even really play them. And so I think, when you're buying this box, you're not really getting enough of a discount to justify using this as a starting point for 40K. But at the same time, Necrons are a great army, and this is really one of the only ways to get any Necron models at all at a discount. So you could use it to start an army, but I think you might just be better off buying the units you want as individual kits. I know you haven't had a chance to play Necrons in full-on 40K yet, but kind of knowing the value proposition of this box, what do you think of it as a starting point for a 40K army?
With my very limited knowledge of 40K and just playing in general, I would probably still find value in this, because you do get, several guys. Like, I feel like as somebody who would be just starting out, 2 of these kits, like, you get 2 of the Doomstalkers, which in this particular kit is my favorite model, just because it looks so cool. And then, like I said, the blades on those guys just look rad.
Yeah, on the destroyers.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a good mix of models. There's not a lot of synergy in the box. The destroyers don't really work well with the warriors, and they don't really work well with the Doomstalker, but it does give you a wide range of models, so you can try a lot of different play styles, right? Do I like shooting with big tanks? Do I like shooting with individual troops? Or do I like just rushing in and hacking dudes to bits with Batleth looking monsters? But I would say overall, as much as I enjoy this box, and I really do think this might be my favorite combat patrol to play on the tabletop, as much as I enjoy this box, I would actually rate it pretty low overall as both a starting point for 40K, like to get into the wider world of playing bigger games of 40K, and I would also rate it low as a combat patrol, even though it's very fun to play, because the value prospect just isn't there. It just isn't the same as the other combat patrols.
Makes sense.
So, kind of to wrap it up, I think you could probably, unless you're just really wanting to start out playing combat patrol, I think you could totally pass on this box and still get into Necrons. Um, I think that's my hot take on this. What's yours?
I think that while the value prospect might not be there, it still looks rad. So if you're looking for something that looks cool and very sci-fi, um, this is probably a really good starting point, especially to your point of trying several different things because you do get several options.
Yeah, that is a fair point, right? You do get to try a bunch of different ways to play the game out of this box. So that may add some value that doesn't exist
Monetarily.
just monetarily. Exactly. So I have been Orkan the Diviner.
And I've been Trazen the Infinite.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our other Combat Patrol reviews and some list building episodes that will be centered around buying 2 of a Combat Patrol and building that up into a 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000 point army list. Thanks for listening.